I've got I've got Jolyon Hoff on the phone. His film "Surfing Sound Waves" is going to be screened at the Screenwave International Film Festival on April 30th. Just so people at home know, the Screenwave Film Festival goes from the 21st of April to the 6th of May. So, Jolyon, what are
Yeah,
some of
that's
the
it, Jolyon, like Julian with an I.
Julian? Sorry about that.
Jolyon. That's okay, man.
I was trying to figure out how to pronounce your name before I called you, but thank you for
No, it's
correcting
fine.
me.
No problem.
So Julian, what are some of
Jolly.
the projects that you've worked on that people might know you from?
Well, in the surf world, definitely Searching for Michael Peterson is the most well-known film that I made about 10, maybe even 15 years ago, about a famous, probably the most famous enigmatic surfer in Australia, Michael Peterson.
Okay. Anything else?
Uh, those that are interested in refugee issues, I made a film called The Staging Post, which followed the lives of the refugees left in Indonesia after they were stuck there in 2013.
Uh
So
huh.
many people that are interested in refugee issues may have seen that. Other than that, I made a short film about a famous old rugby star called Laurie Nichols. I've done work with a lot of music videos and a concert film with a band called Thievery Corporation over in America. And what else could I tell you? That's probably the main films I can think of right now.
Uh huh. Well, I did get a chance to watch the last staging post this morning.
Oh, fantastic.
I actually haven't had a chance to check out surfing sound waves yet. Hopefully,
Yeah,
will at some point. But yeah,
yeah,
I found that the last staging post was oddly optimistic and humanistic for the subject matter.
yeah,
Um, because there was something a couple of movies documentaries I've seen in the past, and they seem to be a little grim and what have you, and it was good to see that so much positivity in that situation.
yeah. Great. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed, and thanks for watching. Yeah. Look, I mean, when I made that film, I had in my mind. I grew up in suburban Sydney, and I had in my mind those people in suburban Sydney that I felt were switched off to refugee issues just because it was such a political space and a heated, angry space. And I wanted those people to connect on a human level first, and then, maybe after that they'll think about whether they might, whether they think we should do more for refugees or not. I decided to leave that up to them, but to tell a human story about a group of refugees who started a school, and that was so that I could bypass that what's a kind of very heated political space in Australia.
It sort of is going to remain to be one, I guess. But well, just long as you can help people out when you can and how you can, I guess. This is the
Yeah,
best you can do. Anyway,
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that we have to help ourselves out. Really, that's it seemed to me that it always seemed to me that the refugees didn't really had a problem. We had a problem in the way that we behave, but that they had a very well. Their problems were very clear. Ours are less clear to us.
yeah, I know.
Um,
There was that excellent point made in the documentary about the university student talking about, well, the story being told about how a university student thought that refugees were frightening when they're
yeah,
just
that's
people.
right. Yeah, that's right. and Hadim says, "We're not scary. You know, look at this. Look what's happening here. They're just people trying to set up a school and educate their kids while living as refugees. There's nothing scary about that whatsoever."
No.
It's true. Yeah.
Anyway, for those people who are probably going to go see Surfing Soundwave, hopefully, what's it all about? You know, what can people expect?
Well, it's actually a kind of interesting film in that it's not a narrative film in any way. It came out of a project I started about a year and a half ago called the Surf Film Archive, where we set out to find and restore all of Australia and New Zealand's lost surf films in the 50s, 60s, 70s. And then as part of that project, we selected what's almost like a best of, but we selected some of that footage and we're going to set that on the night to a live soundtrack with Murray Patterson and his band called Headland.
Uh-huh.
So it'll be more than just a film, it'll be a live experience, and we'll have the best of the Surf Film Archive up on the screen. At the moment, it kind of happens in about 6 or 7 different chapters that highlight different filmmakers and of the era and different styles. And, we've approached the material in different ways. For example, some of it, the footage that we've found, we've presented it like straight out of the film can, straight out of the camera reels, and just we present it straight out of the camera reels as it was shot. And Murray and his band play music along to those pieces.
By the sound of it, you know, even if I do get a chance to check this out, because I definitely know I'm not going to be able to get up to the film festival. I'm probably not going to be able to do it justice on any of the screens I'd have to be able to watch it on. By the sound of it, it's one of those, you know, I have this theory that there are just certain movies and genres that need to be seen on the biggest screen possible. And
Well, the nice thing about this material is that because it was all shot on film before digital, that as long as that film's in reasonable condition, it can be restored. And now the scanning process is such that we can scan at 4K and get the most information off that mostly 16 millimeter film frame. So now what we're able to put up on screen, I mean, it just looks stunning and it looks better than it's ever looked before. And up on the big screen is absolutely where it should be. And I think people will get to see beautiful images of Australia in the 50s, 60s and 70s, and they recognise, you know, coastal towns that are completely changed, that are completely different to what they were 50 years ago. So I think, I think the films will give people time to reflect on where Australia came from, modern Australia, and where it's going and how they feel about that and the pace of change in this country, how dramatic it's been.
so, what are some of your favorite surf movies? You know, that might have been include that footage from might have been included into Surfing Soundwaves.
Well, the greatest surf movie in Australia is hands down Morning of the Earth, which is being restored separately. But what we have in the Surfing Soundwaves selection is we have some footage from Phil Shepherd and Bruce Usher, something called A Winter's Tale, which is an incredible, hardly seen film, 1971, I think. Amazing big Hawaiian waves and South Africa and New Zealand and up and down the coast. We've got some footage from Bob Evans. Bob Evans was the first Australian surf filmmaker, and we've restored as much as we can find of his archive. And that's some of that stuff is the first time that Margaret River had ever been filmed, and the first time that Esperance had ever been filmed.
Wow.
We've got footage from Dick Hall with the first time some very famous breaks like G-Land and Nias in Indonesia. were ever filmed. And then we've got some like kind of more experimental stuff from a surf filmmaker called Paul Witzig, which is kind of more impressionistic kind of footage collated together from a box of found 100-foot 16mm reels that we found them in the back of his storage room and scanned them to see what we could find.
Cool. Just getting back to the last staging post for a moment. How long
Sure.
did that take you to film?
We filmed it over about 4 years in total. Just kept filming a little bit as we could, and as things happened, and then finally put it together.
Okay, and of the people that were featured in the movie, how many of them were actually helped with the production of the movie?
Well, they all helped with the production of the movie in a way. I mean, they were all part of the movie, and they were all building the school with features in the movie. So, in a lot of ways, they were all a part of it. We were all in it together in a way. But Hadim was the cinematographer and also one of the stars, and Muzaffar, who I'm making another film with now, was also helped along. I mean, they would let me stay with them. I would, work at the school, visit the school. So in a way, we're all part of it in some way.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Jolyon.
Okay, no worries. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
All right, see ya.
Bye.